Welcome back to Studio F, where on Fast Times Willy B, we'll be reviewing Venom: The Last Dance. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Russell?
Welcome back to Fast Times Willy B. I'm Willy B. I got Kris back. Kris, how we doing?
Good. How we doing today?
I'm doing well. So we're here to complete the trilogy.
Final movie.
We talked Venom. We talked Venom: Let There Be Carnage. Now we got Venom: The Last Dance. This time we've got Kelly Marcel in the director's chair. So 3 movies, 3 directors.
That's odd, kind of.
Yeah.
It's not a common thing for a trilogy to have all 3 different directors.
Not at all. That's Sony for you, I guess.
Yeah.
But we've got Kelly Marcel in her directorial debut, and then we've got Tom Hardy back as Eddie Brock, which
of course
we've talked about it. We love it. We got Peggy Lou back in one scene. We got as Mrs. Chen. We got Chiwetel Ejiofor as he's in some other comic book movies that we've seen. So interesting seeing him as almost this not bad guy by the end of the movie, but he almost plays the bad guy role outside of Noel.
Yeah.
He plays
the human
Earth's
bad guy. Yeah.
And then obviously we get introduction to a lot more symbiotes. We get Noel as a little taste of Noel, not really a full push of Noel, but nonetheless, we'll start with the good. And once again, we get a Venom movie that doesn't look like it's being very well received by the critics, but the fans are liking it, and I'm once again with the fans.
Yeah, it was just another fun movie.
Yeah, I had a good time. There were some good action sequences. There was a river scene that I really liked, where Venom was bouncing between different types of fish, a frog, before he latches back onto Eddie. In that scene, we also see Eddie kill somebody without the symbiote, and we see their life leave their body, and you can just tell Eddie drained, he looked sick.
Because I don't think in any of the first 2 that's happened. I think it's all been Venom doing all the killing. So
so that was an interesting scene to see, especially see how Eddie reacted to it. And I think we get a fun final fight too. We get some fun side characters throughout the movie.
I would say it was probably my favorite final fight of the 3 movies. That ending scene was made the movie for me.
Throughout this whole movie, we have Noel sending these alien giant bug-looking creatures to get the codex. And that's Venom and Eddie. When Venom is over, you can see the codex, and that would help bring Noel back, and he would ultimately end all of existence. And the whole time these bugs are chasing, but the final sequence, we get the release of all these other symbiotes. We see Scream, we see Phage, we see Toxin comes to fruition, which is awesome.
We got Toxin, they actually did a payout on it, which was nice.
Which was really cool. We see all of these different symbiotes. Lasher is taken over by they call her the Christmas girl because she wears the Christmas pin.
Is that's the purple one with the... or no, that was...
She was green. Yeah.
What's the purple lightning one?
That I can't remember what the symbiote's name.
She was sick.
I can't remember the symbiote's name, but that was Dr. Payne.
Yeah.
She cracked the vial.
Yeah, at the very end. Yeah, that was that was a sick one.
Yeah.
I thought that the lightning power and stuff, that was super cool.
Yeah. But it was really cool seeing all these symbiotes just battle together, go to war together. Yeah. We get some cool side characters I know we like the Martin family.
That was definitely a cool addition. I mean,
Rhys Ifans playing Martin too.
Yeah, he's the Lizard. Yeah.
So kind of crazy to see somebody get a second role in the Sonyverse for Marvel movies. So now he's Kurt Connors and Martin.
I mean, if they're good, they're good.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing with the MCU recasting Robert Downey Jr. I mean,
that's fair.
If it works, it works. So
yeah, I'm here for Rhys Ifans' little side character.
He was fun. That family definitely added that it already had that fun element, but
and
added
heartwarming too, because you throughout this whole movie you're kind of getting the feeling that obviously the movie's called The Last Dance, that there's going to be some heartbreak with probably separation between Venom and Eddie Brock for the greater good. The Lethal Protector, as the comic line and this movie implies they are. And the family is this fun little intermission almost where Eddie's at rock bottom walking barefoot after just being attacked by armed forces, and now he stumbles upon this family, and they're giving him a ride to Vegas, and he has a little heartfelt moment with the son too, which was cool, where the son was like scared of aliens, and after they talk, Venom comes over and he goes, "You said the right thing. You'd be a great father." And then you get like a little sad moment where he's looking out the window, and you imagine he's probably thinking about what could have been with Anne if he had a family type of thing, because he's out at this moment. It's just him and Venom. He has nobody. Yeah. He's a fugitive. The family that he's in the car with is the only people that think he's a good person.
And they don't even know that Venom's in him until the end of the movie. And then when Venom comes out, and he's like, "Thanks for the chocolate."
Yeah. So that was a little like a step back, slow down intermission to the movie that almost like crushed you a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you feel bad for Eddie Brock, because albeit he has a really cool power, at the end of the day he had to sacrifice a lot of things. So
for that power, yeah,
exactly. But like you said, it was fun. Probably my least favorite of the three, but I still had a good time with it.
I would agree with that.
There was a little bit at the beginning, which we'll get into, but for the good, I would say most of it felt good. I thought the effects looked good once again. I thought the symbiotes looked really cool.
Oh, at the end, that was, like I said, that was probably one of my favorite. Even though it's my third favorite of the trilogy, that scene and the ending scene was probably my favorite scene of the whole trilogy. It's up there for sure.
When Venom takes over all the monsters and throws Eddie out.
Oh, yeah. And then you're just like, you know what's coming. Obviously, you're like, damn. But it's really good.
And that's when we get, Ojiofor's character comes... His full character.
He redeems himself
by sacrificing himself by setting off the bomb. But, that final sequence was a really good fight with the Martin family interaction as well, like you said.
Oh, and then Martin comes in with like the rocket launcher or whatever. Like I was like, and then he's like, sorry.
Blows the eye moves. He's like, I'm sorry. And he just like turns and runs like a scientist would run.
Yeah.
No, it was once again the comedy hit for the most part. I don't think there was there was probably some jokes on the cringier side in this film than the first two, but it still hit for the most part.
Like the part where they're in the van and singing, though, I love that one. When Venom's singing along and
soundtrack.
The soundtrack was the best soundtrack out of the three,
the soundtrack
by far.
was insane.
I've caught myself singing in the movie theater to myself. I'm like, I'm sitting here singing along, and we're in the movies. Like,
we get ground control to Major Tom.
And Eddie's like not wanting to sing or anything, and Venom's like, come on.
Yeah, come on. He's counting down. 5.
Yeah. That's up there from one of my favorite scenes in the movie too. I love that.
No, that was a really good scene. But outside that, it's there is a score to this film, obviously, but the commercialized music was really good. Well picked too. Like everything fit. Like when he's walking into the casino and it's just playing. Every song felt right for the scene. It matched up
for
with
the scenes.
But I have to mention the soundtrack in the good for sure. Was there anything else in the good for you?
Just another, like I said, just another fun movie. Comedy, action. Another fun Venom movie. Even though it's The Last Dance, hopefully it's not the last of it. We got that little post-credit scene, so there's something going on.
There's a little piece of Venom left in Mexico.
Yeah, at the bar, so
maybe he finds his way back.
Hopefully he joins the MCU. That would be my hope.
Yeah.
I think more MCU and that universe could do a lot more with Venom. Even more than what Sony's done. I think it would be really cool.
I think since we only got like a glimpse of Noel, I feel like Venom's going to find his way back to Eddie, and it's going to reactivate the Codex or something, and that's when we're going to get like the bigger bad effect that Noel might have. Yeah. Or maybe Noel gets sucked in the multiverse action, and Noel is an MCU villain. But we'll see. Because in the comics, Noel is like the big bad of he's the Thanos of the Venom and Carnage.
They kind of played him off in this movie, like he just.
So like that's really why I feel like it's not done. I feel like it was almost like a Thanos introduction, like how we saw Thanos at the end of Avengers and then Guardians, like the post-credit scene. Like it was very minimal. I'm wondering if obviously you can't make a whole franchise out of the Venom. Maybe you can.
They've done 3 so far, and it seems to be working. People are going to see it as much as like the critic reviews are. Like you said, the fans are loving it though. People are paying to go see it. So, and that's the main thing. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what the critics say if people are loving it. If you get a low score, but you're making a profit, they'll keep letting you make movies. Yeah. So, but we can hop over to the Matt. I have a few things in the Matt. I think that it was a slow start to the film. I agree with that.
I think the first act was a little slow. Especially, I don't know if I loved the whole Noel introduction. It almost looked video game-like to me.
It was it was a little cheesy. The first like 5 minutes of it, I'm like, oh, I hope
like the symbiotes and stuff moving around looked good, but Noel himself, I didn't like the look of him.
Yeah, it definitely looked like a video, like a Ultimate Alliance cutscene or something like.
But if you remember too, like Thanos didn't look that great in his first, so maybe.
Yeah, every time I go back and watch that too, I'm like, oh, Thanos looked terrible at first.
Yeah,
so they can fix it. Maybe that's why they didn't show him a lot. Like you don't even really see his face until the
end.
Was that the post credit? That was the mid credit scene.
Yeah.
So,
but I would say probably the small look at Noel we get, I think could have been done better. Because like I said, I'd put the effects for the most part in the good, but I did not look the way he just
other than that video game scene.
Other than that, in the like I said, slow start.
Not having Anne like back or like not even like mentioning her, like where's she at, like no mention of her. It's like they just completely wrote her out of the story, and it's like that was like a big part of Eddie's story, and it's like the whole movie I'm like, where's Anna at? Like
the only thing you get is basically she's like, you can assume that's who he's thinking of in the car when Venom says he'd be a good father. That's like
but like that's you don't get to see where she's at. They don't even say her name. It's very weird based on how like the first and second one went.
Michelle Williams wasn't feeling a third movie.
They could have at least like said, even if she wasn't, they could have said something about her, like, oh, she's doing whatever. I don't know.
She died. No.
I mean, at least that would be something, like, because you don't even know.
I'm glad we got Mrs. Chen, because for a second I didn't think we were going to get her. And then all of a
she's
sudden,
in Vegas. Yeah,
she's
that
like
was so funny.
House in Vegas, and you get the
as soon as you seen her, I just started smiling. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then Venom dancing with her.
Yeah. But yeah, I would have liked to mention of Anne as well. I wish there was like a little more information on the flashback we get with Dr. Payne and her brother.
Yeah, because like you don't really get to see either with that. Like he just gets struck by lightning.
I think that's ultimately just to show how she got that scar, and then like the lightning charge with the symbiote.
Yeah,
but like I wish there was a little more.
Where were they at? Why were they on this weird beach? Why did he get struck by lightning? Like
it just was a weird cutscene.
Yeah,
I could have almost done without it, and I wouldn't have questioned why she had lightning abilities with the symbiote.
Yeah, they could have just left it alone and maybe explain that later on if they felt like they needed to. But I agree with that.
That's probably really it for the man. Like I said, there were some jokes on the cringier side. I guess you could throw those in the mat. And I said that in my out-of-theater reaction. I felt like the trailer looked a little cringier, but...
I think this one, like how we said about the other one, should have been rated R. This one, was the least amount that, like, the kills were still pretty cool, even with it being PG-13,
yeah, we saw some
I would
heads
say.
Eaten off.
Yeah, like, I would say... I'd say they did the most out of the three with it being PG-13. So, like, it's still in the mad, but I wouldn't say this one falls in the bad of it not being rated R like the other two.
Yeah. Do you have anything else for the mad?
I would just say about that, like, it had a good runtime actually this time. Like, I felt it didn't feel too long or too short. So
yeah. We'll hop to the bad, and I'm thinking on it more. I'm just gonna put the look of Noel in the bad.
Yeah. Not
the look like he didn't look comic accurate, just that the effects weren't. I think. Like, finally, like, they weren't detailed. Like, they weren't done, almost. That's what it felt like. I know I said it from the mad, but the more I thought on it, I was like, I think that was something that really hurt for me, because Noel, like I said, he was supposed to be, and he was kind of underplayed, which I said maybe it's just an if this isn't an introduction, that's a...
if this is the last we see of Venom, and it really is the last dance, then it's like...
That's pretty underwhelming. It kind of
was anticlimactic.
That's pretty underwhelming for Noel's character.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I feel like with the post-credit scene and what the numbers are showing financially, because like I said, people don't care about the critic scores if the finances are coming through. There's probably a chance. I know Tom Hardy said he's done, but money talks. So
Tom Holland, really Andrew Garfield, they all say they're done, and then I just saw Spider-Man 4 coming out in 2026. So well, I'm sure we'll get an announcement, and maybe it might be a year or so from now, but
so we'll see. But
or they'll just surprise us, and he'll join in like Secret Wars or something, like I said.
Yeah. But nonetheless, like that's really the only thing I'm bad. There's nothing. Really
there's not a lot of bad. It was just another fun movie.
Yeah. So we'll hop over to our final thoughts and ratings. What do you want to leave off with Venom: The Last Dance, and what do you give it out of 10?
Hopefully they do more. Like you said, there's a little piece of Venom left in Mexico, so hopefully they do something. That end credit scene leaves you wondering, like, why is everything destroyed? What's going on? Like, you see the cockroaches, which is like a reference back. So hopefully that gets explained. Noel obviously comes back, and obviously Venom. So, but it was a good movie. It is my least favorite out of the three, so I'll probably have to give it I gave the second one a 7.5, so I think I'm going to give this one a 7.
Yeah. I feel like we've been on par with each other. We haven't talked about this after the movie. I think the first one you went 8.5 and I went 8. We both went 7.5 for the second after some deliberation. I changed my score. And then I agree with you on the third one. I'm going to go flat 7.
Yeah, 7 out of 10 is still a solid movie, though.
Very solid,
especially for, like, a third movie, like, that's not bad.
Yeah. I know, again, like, it's not the popular opinion to say that this is a good trilogy, but it's a good trilogy, in my opinion.
It's a fun trilogy. No, I mean, I don't think anyone can disagree with that.
I don't think it's like a top-tier trilogy of all time, but I think all 3 movies are fun to watch back-to-back.
It's definitely the best we've gotten, like you said, from Sony. Like, it's 3 solid movies. I mean, I don't remember the last time Sony gave us
Spider-Man.
But even the third Spider-Man's not that good.
I like the third Spider-Man probably better than at least 2 of the 3 of these movies.
I don't know.
Maybe only 1. I don't know.
It's debatable. It's
the
all
third
right.
Spider-Man's fun.
It's nostalgic.
The first 2 are
nostalgic because we grew up on it. But like
the first 2
are. I mean, those are
10 out of 10.
Yeah, I was gonna say those are like 9 or 10s. Like those are amazing.
But yeah, definitely agree that as far as Sony goes, this is some of the best content we've gotten.
At least in recent years, for sure.
Yeah.
So
let's see what we get with Kraven the Hunter. Obviously, being rated R.
It looks good.
The trailers look intriguing enough for me. I'm excited to see Aaron Taylor Johnson take over the role. I'm excited to see.
Maybe they'll connect it somehow. Maybe I don't know if they're doing it all connected or if it's all just its own thing.
Yeah.
I would like to see Spider-Man. I mean, join in with these bad guys.
Just get Andrew Garfield back in action.
Hey, I'm cool with having 2 different Spider-Mans simultaneously. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I love Spider-Man.
You can't get enough Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'd say you could drop
we have the Spider-Verse going too, so technically we have 3 Spiders.
We could have a Spider-Man movie come out every couple months and I'd be in theater seeing it.
Oh, 100%.
So
100%. Spidey's the man.
So
you could say Spidey's the greatest superhero of all time, right?
I would say he's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. helped Iron Man get up par with Spider-Man, but I still think I got to put Spider-Man on 1 tier above.
Spider-Man or Batman?
Spider-Man.
Okay, big man.
I'm a Marvel guy. I mean, DC's all right, but I think Batman's overrated. That was unpopular opinion.
That was for a specific person, so hopefully we'll
see if he watches it. But unpopular opinion: Batman's overrated.
Oh, he want the full 9 yards there. So we'll definitely see. That'll do it for Venom: The Last Dance, Kris, man.
Thanks for having me doing the trilogy. It was fun. Of course.
Thank you for stepping in, honestly, last minute.
Yes, sir.
We talked about this like a week ago, and then we busted out all 3 movies. So thank you for stepping in, and
yes, sir.
It was a good time. Thank you all for watching. If you like what you're watching, please check out some of these other videos. Hit the subscribe button or follow the social links down below. As always, anything is appreciated, and we will talk to you all soon. Peace.